Are you ready to admit that our most valuable asset on the New Orleans Saints isn't our starting quarterback or star receiver, but our young tackle Kelvin Banks Jr.? ESPN analyst Bill Barnwell just dropped an appraisal naming Banks as the only player on our roster worth more than a first-round pick on the trade market. It is a massive statement about his elite development and potential ceiling in this league. There are really two sides to this: why his value has skyrocketed and what this means for our offensive future. Let's dive into these numbers and break it all down. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your city in the comments. Let's get into it. The most valuable asset on the New Orleans Saints roster is not our starting quarterback Tyler Show, or even a standout playmaker like Chris Olave. According to recent trade value appraisals conducted by ESPN analyst Bill Barnwell, that distinction belongs solely to offensive tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. Barnwell evaluated every team in the league to determine which players could command a first-round pick or more in a potential trade. Banks stands alone as the only Saint valued in the superior category of a first-round pick and more, outpacing teammates like Brian Breesy, Chris Olave, and Jordan Tyson, who are each valued at a single first-round pick. As Saints fans, we have witnessed Banks transform from a rookie into a cornerstone piece during his inaugural season. His rapid development is best illustrated by the data provided by Barnwell, showing that Banks slashed his quick pressure allowed rate from 5.8% in the first half of the year to a remarkable 0.4% from Week 10 onward. And this is the part that gets me. Kellen Moore frequently left him on an island without any supplemental protection, yet he still managed to deliver that level of performance against professional pass rushers. This news has sparked excitement across our fan base because finding a reliable anchor for the left tackle position has been a long, difficult road for this franchise. Seeing such a young player demonstrate that level of technical mastery provides us with genuine confidence for the upcoming season. However, maintaining that elite standard while facing the toughest pass rushers in the league is a different challenge entirely, and we have to wonder how long he can sustain this production. If he is truly playing at this caliber, what does it mean for our offensive identity under Kellen Moore? And can this line truly hold up against the toughest defensive fronts? Kelvin Banks Jr. currently holds a higher trade market valuation than any other player on this roster. A reality that speaks volumes about how drastically the organization has shifted its long-term outlook. This surge in value is no accident, as it stems from a deliberate front office focus on securing foundational talent at the most critical positions after years of instability. We have watched this team struggle to identify reliable blindside protectors for quite some time, making the sudden stability provided by a young talent such a relief. Behind closed doors, head coach Kellen Moore and the front office are likely thrilled with this development because it allows them to commit to a more aggressive offensive scheme without worrying about constant collapses on the edge. What nobody is talking about is how Banks managed to shrink his quick pressure allowed rate from 5.8% in the first half of the season down to an incredible 0.4% starting in Week 10. That specific statistical leap provides the tangible proof of concept that scouts crave when evaluating high-end assets. Historically, this team has seen promising rookies struggle to bridge the gap between college dominance and professional consistency. Yet Banks demonstrated the mental toughness to correct his technique mid-season. By protecting our quarterback, he ensures that the entire skill position group can function at peak capacity. As we look at the upcoming schedule, the coaching staff knows that facing top-tier pass rushers will be the ultimate test of this progress. If he maintains this trajectory, he is not just a cornerstone piece for the present. He is potentially the most valuable asset this franchise has secured in a decade. With Taliese Fuaga also firmly entrenched, we finally have the luxury of confidence in our trenches, knowing that our foundation is built on elite, young talent that continues to trend upward. So that is the perspective from the front office. But let us look at the bigger picture for our squad. This is where it gets real, because the evaluation from Bill Barnwell at ESPN highlights a fundamental truth about our current trajectory. Kelvin Banks Jr. is not just another name on the roster. He is the cornerstone upon which our entire offensive philosophy rests. By dropping his quick pressure allowed rate from 5.8% in the first half to 0.4% during the second half of the season, Banks has proven he can handle the most physical defensive fronts in the league without needing extra help. This matters because it allows Kellen Moore to keep those offensive tackles on an island, freeing up our other skill players to make plays. Having a reliable anchor like Banks paired with Talise Fuaga means our protection is no longer a liability, but a massive strength. This stability provides Tyler Shough the necessary time to dissect opposing secondaries, which will be vital when we face those top-tier pass rushers on our schedule who hunt specifically from the right side. With Banks emerging as our most valuable trade asset, the ripple effect on our depth chart is profound. We finally have that long-term certainty at left tackle that we have craved for years. This evolution shifts our standing within the division significantly, moving us closer to the top of the conference hierarchy. If Banks continues this upward trend, we are no longer just looking at a successful rebuilding project, but a genuine contender capable of deep playoff runs. When your offensive line is this secure, your ceiling as a team rises exponentially, giving us the confidence that our offense can sustain success against any defense in the NFL this upcoming year. The most encouraging sign for our team is the rapid development of Kelvin Banks Jr., who has truly solidified the left tackle position. According to ESPN's Bill Barnwell, Banks stands alone as our most valuable asset, potentially commanding more than a first-round pick in a trade. His performance is statistically impressive, as he dropped his quick pressure allowed rate from 5.8% in the first half of the season to a remarkable 0.4% from Week 10 onward. This level of growth is rare for a player in his first year and provides Kellen Moore with the stability needed to let Tyler Shough work through his progressions. However, we must remain cautious about projecting this success indefinitely. While Barnwell values Banks above others like Chris Olave, Brian Breezy, and Jordan Tyson, who are each pegged at a first-round value, we have to consider if that late-season streak is sustainable against the league's top-tier pass rushers. Here's what people are missing. Maintaining that 0.4% rate over a full 17-game slate is an immense challenge, especially considering the aggressive schemes our tackles often face without extra help. The risk is that expecting such perfection sets an impossible standard, and any minor regression might be unfairly viewed as a failure rather than a natural leveling off. The way I see it, while it is wonderful to have a potential anchor on the blind side, I am slightly skeptical that he has already surpassed established stars like Olave in pure value. It is easy to get caught up in the potential of a young offensive lineman, but I prefer to see him prove it for another full season before we declare him our most indispensable piece. That said, having a duo with Talise Fuaga finally gives us the foundation we have craved for so many years. When you look at how the individual brilliance of Kelvin Banks Jr. aligns with the broader goals of this New Orleans Saints franchise, a clear vision of long-term stability finally begins to take shape. For years, we have searched for answers on the offensive line, and finding a foundational piece like Banks, who ESPN's Bill Barnwell ranks as the team's most valuable asset, signals a major turning point for our future. Now here's the thing. This isn't just about one player. It is about building an identity under head coach Kellen Moore that prioritizes trench play to protect our investment in Tyler Shough. As fans, we should feel genuinely optimistic because we finally have a cornerstone tackle who demonstrated rare, measurable growth by slashing his quick pressure allowed rate from 5.8% to 0.4% during his rookie campaign. That level of proof of concept provides the security needed for our skill players to flourish, and it suggests we are moving away from the patchwork solutions of the past. Having both Banks and Talise Fuaga creates a tandem that anchors the entire roster, giving us a genuine competitive edge as we head into a challenging schedule. The trajectory is unmistakable, and if he continues this progression, we are looking at an anchor for the next decade. Given that Barnwell views him as the only Saint worth more than a single first-round pick, do you believe Kelvin Banks Jr. is already the most indispensable player on the entire roster, even ahead of our starting quarterback? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Who dat? I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you never miss a single update regarding all the latest news, highlights, and team analysis today.